Hey gorgeous, welcome to Happy Go Fabulous. I am so thrilled that you're here. This is our space where we get real about life, the good, the messy and all the juicy bits in between. Real talk, real life and a whole lot of delicious living. But I must warn you, listening may cause unexpected outbreaks of fabulousness and real life magic. Hi, I'm Catherine and I am so incredibly passionate about helping inspired, motivated, impact-driven, freedom-seeking people just like you to do the deep inner work to create those beautiful outer wonders in life. It's all about revolutionising your relationship with yourself, where you fall madly, deeply in love with who you are and create a life so fabulous you can't wait to jump out of bed every morning to live it. Ready? Because ordinary living is so last season. Life's waiting and it's time to make it fabulous. Let's shimmy on in. Hey gorgeous, how are you? Oh my gosh, I am so pumped. I have just come back from a gorgeous walk along the beach this morning and I just couldn't wait to record this podcast episode. Some really clear, really deep and really fast and really profound messages came through. And I was walking Boston along the beach and it was just like, oh my God, there was so much that was coming through. I just wanted to get back and record an episode for you. Do you know what? I was reflecting on that too. Like some people, I was talking to a friend the other day who's starting a podcast and she's got 6 months worth of content mapped out and she's got it all planned and structured. That does not work for me at all. I am in the moment. You get the best from me when something's kind of happening and I capture it as it's happening. And I've got lots and lots of feedback on a lot of not only the podcast episodes, but just me showing up online about the realness and the rawness of like real time going through stuff. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you because it was super awesome. Like it really was so much packed in it. I came home, I did make some notes, just some stuff, because it was almost like, oh my God, how do I capture this? Because there was a lot of depth in it. So where I go to the beach, it's about a 5-minute drive from home. And I parked on the headland and that's where the messages just started coming in. Normally I go for a walk along the beach and I get some, depends what day it is. That sometimes I get lots and lots of messages all at once. Sometimes I don't. And then I sort of walk up to the end of the beach and I'll do some journaling there and the messages come in then. And I was kind of anticipating that that's what I would do this morning. Because there was a lot of stuff buzzing around in my head. But as soon as like when I drove up, oh my gosh, there was a whale just breaching out on the horizon. And this is whale season. And we are just so blessed with where we live that it's almost like we get to see the whale highway. And so I saw a whale breaching out on the horizon even before I got out of the car. And it was just like, oh my God, that's amazing. So then I walked down to the beach and just all this, it was like, Catherine, we've got so much to tell you. And it was just like all these messages were just coming in and they really flooded in. I really couldn't keep up with them. But so instead of waiting till I got to my journal nook, I kind of started to mentally download. I thought, oh, this is going to be a really powerful walk on the beach this morning. So I really started to mentally download how I've been feeling. And there's snippets of this that you would have captured in previous podcast eps and if you're following me online as well. But, I don't share everything with you, but I share a lot. I definitely share a lot with you. So I started mentally downloading stuff about all the stuff that's been worrying me. This was a heads kind of, like this felt like it was I needed to offload stuff that was worrying me, stuff that's not moving fast enough that I want it to move quicker, what I've been frustrated with, the things that I want in my life instead of what are happening in my life. And it was a bit of I don't know, it felt like not doom and gloom, but it felt like it's stuff that I needed to offload and that I needed to really get out of my system so I could start to unpack it. And I was doing that. And right in the thick of it, like I was getting into it, I was really getting into it. And it's just like, and then I feel like this, and then I feel like that, and blah, 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 blah. And it was just all coming. It was coming to the service. I was getting all this input from sort of my guidance team coming in. It was just like, oh my God. And right in the thick of that, of me doing this, download of how I'm feeling about things, it's like I wanted to cry, I wanted to scream, I wanted to have a few kind of words with the universe that had been swirling in my head, just kind of going, why aren't things moving how I want them? I'm doing all the stuff. I know what to do. I've got the tools. I'm doing it, but I'm not getting the traction that I would want to get. And right then, oh my God, this was amazing. This whale. So normally the whales that we see, you sort of see a splash and you might see out on the horizon sort of a shape of a whale doing a breachy thing. I don't take binoculars or anything. John's got binoculars, and he was even had binoculars the other day that take photographs. He's Mr. Gadget Man. I'm not Mrs. Gadget Woman. But I was walking and doing this, and this whale, just a couple of 100 meters out, just breached, and it came out of the water and sort of above the horizon and into the sky. And this was at sunrise, and it just breached into the water. And I was just like, oh my goodness. It was this great, big, majestic whale that just stopped me in my tracks. It stopped everything. And that one moment just shifted so much, far out. It shifted so much from that uptight, wound up, like, woe is me, come on, universe, let's get things moving, to this awe and wonder and presence and beauty and majesty. And then another whale appeared, and then another one. And there were heaps of them. And there was almost like they were doing this frolicky, fun, just enjoying themselves. And that's when it hit me. Like, that hit me. Even when it looks like nothing is happening on the surface, something really powerful is moving deep below. Like, something is moving deep below. Oh my gosh. Like those whales. And I just stood there watching the whales, like all that worry and stuff in my buzzing around in my head it just dissolved. It just absolutely dissolved. And I stood there watching the whales. And as I was watching them, it's like this neon sign just flashed across my mind and then was just right in front of me, as clear as clear as clear. It went protective freeze. I'm like, oh, what is that? Protective freeze. It was just like, what is protective freeze? And then the messages were, this is what you've been in, that you have been in this protective freeze, not just for the 18 months of transitioning here to this new phase of life that I'm in, but probably since, my mum passed away when I was 12. We talk a lot about that fight and flight response, but there's another response that our body goes into when we've been through long-term stress or trauma or even emotional overload. It's a freeze. And there's also a fawn response as well. But my response has been a freeze response. It's when the nervous system says, I just can't move forward. It's not safe. It's not safe for me to move forward. And that is something that has been coming up for me since I did my Queen of My Life activation process a couple of months ago. It's not safe for me to move forward. That is coming up. I have never associated not feeling safe up until now. So my mum passed away when I was 12. I'm 59. And it wasn't until only a couple of years ago that I associated her passing away as trauma. And that might sound like weird, and I've shared this with you before, But it was kind of like, oh, yeah, of course that was trauma. And so this safety stuff hasn't really come up for me before, but it's coming up a lot now. So it's ready to be, it's coming to the surface like those beautiful whales coming to the surface to breathe. This is coming to the surface to be dealt with. And so when that neon sign of protective freeze came forward, I just stopped and I let it sink in, and I could feel it through my whole being, and it made so much sense. And it was just like, I've been in a protective freeze. And when Mum passed away, like life became really this foggy blur. You know, I really don't remember a lot from my childhood. I really don't. But I do remember, one thing I do remember, and this has kind of come up quite a bit, is this numbness that I have felt, you know, a frozen state. And I didn't have language to describe that as I was growing up as a teenager. That's kind of come to me in my more adult years. But my mind, my body, my emotions were into this protective freeze to keep me safe. And it was my coping mechanism. And you know what? Looking back, I can see that pattern everywhere. God, I can see it everywhere. Like that whole keeping myself safe, keeping myself small, keeping myself, you know, not dealing with my emotions, not even knowing how to deal with my emotions for fear that if I started to deal with them, I wouldn't know how to stop dealing with them. You know, often in life, and even now, to right now, even when I do this, every time I do this, record these podcasts, I feel like I'm not doing life quite right. That I second guess so much stuff. And I can see my conscious mind knows that, you know, I don't need to second guess stuff, but I still do. It's programming that is just running behind the scenes. It's just programming that's running behind the scenes. So at school, I struggled. I sucked at school. I really sucked at school. It was hard. It was stressful. It was just this protective freeze. God, my mum had just died. I went into year 7 and my mum died so what would we have started? Year 7 in February or the end of January. Mum died in April. So I'm starting this major milestone of my life. And I just went into this like, fuck. And that was this blur, my protective freeze. It was my coping mechanism. But I now know that this was a trauma response. I didn't know it back then. I didn't know how to be a teenager or how to be a woman or a mum. Like I second guessed myself in just about every area of life. And it's been that lifelong protective freeze, a way of staying safe from more hurt, from more loss, from more grief. And you know what? As I say, you kind of go, well, yeah, that doesn't make sense. But it's this programming that's been running. And another pattern that I guess has been a version of this for me that has played out lots and lots and lots is that it's a pattern around success and happiness and abundance. And somewhere along the way, I took on the belief that if I'm happy or successful, first of all, the belief that I took on was that it's not okay to be happy. And then as I got older, I equated that with it's not okay to be successful. And it's not okay to live a beautiful life and have nice things. It's not okay. And so that's some stuff that I've done a lot of work with, but it's kind of been hanging around a little bit more recently as well. But this one has just come up. Oh my gosh, this has just come up like in the last, not this morning, but in the last probably week, is that I learned somewhere along the way that I have taken on this belief that if I am happy and if I am successful and if I live a beautiful life and have beautiful things, it's going to upset other people. So what I've done is from that belief, and I can trace it back. I'm not going to go into that with you now. I don't think that's appropriate here. But I can trace that back to where I think that belief has started in this lifetime. And from there, I have kept myself small to make sure everyone else around me has been comfortable. Now, not necessarily small in physical presence, but small in relation to happiness, success. I held myself back. And this wasn't a conscious decision, it's been a very subconscious decision. So I've learned to keep myself small, and my conscious mind knows that that's not true. Like it knows. As I talk to you now, it's like, that's not true. That's just not true. But the conscious mind only runs about 10 to 20% of the show. Like it's only got about 10 to 20% of the tickets to the show. Whereas the subconscious mind has the majority shareholding. And that's where those old programs live. So our conscious minds are like, I'm a psychology junkie studying human behavior for a very long time around mindset, behaviors, psychology, spiritual psychology. And our conscious mind is about the here and now. And it's about the, recent memories. It's the short-term memories that we have. It's the present that we're in here. But the subconscious is about all those automatic body functions that we got. Like I don't sit here thinking, oh, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Although there's sometimes that I do need to do that. But it's all the automatic body functions that are happening. It's our longer term memories. It's our programming. It's those belief systems that we have that are stored in that subconscious. So there's been a point in my life where I have made made it to be true that if I am happy and successful, that it is going to upset other people. And that is not okay to upset other people. So it's about putting their needs ahead of my needs. And this is kind of a bit fucked up, but it's not, this isn't a blame game or anything like that. It's just a belief. Like it's what I refer to it now is like it's a misidentification. It's a misbelief. It's a belief that I took on, but is it really true or not? So our subconscious kind of is the majority shareholder, and that's where most of these beliefs are. And often they're invisible. We don't know about them. Like here I am. I've been working in this field for over 40 years, and I have a lot of tools. I have a lot of skill. I have a lot of expertise. I have a lot of lived experience. But I also get stuck on this. So this stuff around safety, this stuff about holding myself back and keeping myself small because I might upset other people. And I can see that, man, when that came forward for me the other day, it was just like, holy bloody, I can see that in so many, fucking hell, fuck. Anyway, doing lots and lots of work around that. So I've been doing this deep inner work for lots of years. Like that's what I'm on this earth to do, is to live through the experiences, to learn from the experiences, and to help other people to navigate their experience. That's what I'm here for. I know that that's a really big part of my mission in life. I'm a spiritual junkie. I'm a psychology junkie. It's what I'm wired for, like personally and professionally. It's what lights me up. It's just what I do naturally. And it's just what the universe has led me to do in my profession as well. And even now, the whales this morning, they reminded me that this isn't about, there's nothing for me to fix. There's nothing for me to fix. It's about really acknowledging, witnessing, and now that these patterns are kind of had the spotlight put on them, that's a lot of the work that's going to help them to dissolve. That there's still some stuff that I can do around that will help them to stop repeating themselves. But, just like those whales don't surface all the time, they're underneath, and they're underneath the water, they're deep underneath the water, and they're doing their stuff there. And they don't have to constantly be up above the water, to be constantly on. So we dive deep, we process, we witness, we observe, we hold. And when it's time to breathe, when it's time to do something with what we've kind of uncovered, then that's when things rise, and then that's when things can happen. And that's when we sort of see the transformation on the surface. There is so much stuff happening. I can feel it within me. I can't really put it into words yet for you, and I'm not sure whether I'll be able to, but there's so much stuff that's shifting within that I'm not even sure it feels profound for me. I'm not sure what you're witnessing around that, and whether you even need to witness anything. Like this is about me, not about you. Sorry. gorgeous. But it's still progress. So, when I'm in my conscious mind going, oh, things aren't happening quickly enough, that's about me putting some attachment and some expectations on what I think should be happening right now. But there's a lot of shifts and integration and changes that are happening at that soul deep level. So that's still progress. And that's given me so much more peace. Like, I've come away from the beach this morning going, I can't even tap into how I was feeling this morning when I was just going, ooh, life's not doing what I want it to do. I just kind of have this whole different awe and wonder and appreciation and gratitude for those whales doing their breach right in front of me. And it's just given me so much peace around not seeing the results that I'm expecting like immediately. And you might recognize this in yourself. You might recognize that you know what you want, but you're not getting the results that you want, or you're not seeing the results that you're expecting, no matter how hard you try. You're doing all the work, like I've been doing all the work, but it's not translating into what we think it should translate into. That, I guess, is a key message for us, is to detach from what we're expecting it should look like. Even if you've lost your mojo and things that used to light you up now feel heavy or flat, that was me that's been me through lots of different iterations, but certainly the last 12 months, or not the last 6 months, but the 12 months of moving here, I just lost my spark. I lost my spark, and definitely warranted. There was a lot of sadness and healing happening then. But you might feel that you've lost that spark, whatever your version of that is, and that the things that used to light you up now just feel a bit bleh. And things that once felt easy now feel really hard or exhausting. That's how I have felt. That things that just came supernaturally, it's just like far out. Now these are feeling hard and heavy. And you might be like me, riding those emotional highs and lows, swinging between clarity and excitement and, oh my gosh, I'm ready to, oh, I can't. I just physically can't do it mentally, emotionally. It's too much. Or you might even think, I have felt like this, that I'm going backwards, that it's just like, I just almost like in this holding pattern of, I don't know, I feel like I'm going backwards instead of forwards, but we're not. We're integrating those changes that are happening. And the protective freeze, this is not failure by any means. And I don't associate, the word failure doesn't kind of resonate very much with me, but I know for a lot of people it does. What resonates with me is it's not okay to be happy or successful. To me, that's different to I have failed. So the protective freeze is not about failure by any means. It's our mind, our body, our emotions, our spirit saying, let's just take a break. Let's just pause until it's safe to expand again, until we've done some of that deep diving, whaley inner work and getting to the core of what our outdated programming and beliefs are. But a lot of it is around that safety. And it's also the safety to expand again, the safety to let go of control, the safety to be who we truly want to be, the safety to trust ourselves. And that safety doesn't come from pushing harder. It doesn't come from wanting more or trying to make things happen. It comes from that deep dive, that really anchoring into who we are at our core. It comes from softening. It comes from really loving ourselves and others. It comes from not needing to protect out of fear, but it's really about that love and trust and allowing and going deep like the whales, and then rising up when we need to rise up and breathe and frolic and have fun, and then go and do some more deep work. It's about doing what comes naturally to us. And for me, I can really see how those protective layers, the protective freeze, ties back to my old layers of self-protection. And I'm going to so this is fresh, raw. I haven't processed a lot of this, but I am actually going to do a little bit of reflection around those layers of self-protection and how they've shown up in life. I'm not going to do the whole psychoanalysis. Oh, actually, I probably will. Because that's the process I like to go through, and that helps in the releasing. But it's about what are those old layers of self-protection and where have they shown up and what do I need now? So when life felt uncertain, I learned to hold it all together. There was just this dichotomy of duality of who I was. Like I was really super, super capable. I became independent, hyper independent, again, another trauma response. But I became really, really capable, really independent. But there was big part of me, and the inner part, which I didn't really show to a lot of people because I put this protective layer around me, I was shit scared. I second guessed everything. I really felt like I did not know how to do life. And I learned to armor up and to make it look like I was coping when on the inside, I really, really wasn't. And now when I feel that heaviness or disconnect, instead of fighting it, instead of armoring up and kind of hunkering down, I ask myself, what part of me doesn't feel safe right now? And what do I need to feel safe? What do I need? The different parts of me, what do you need to feel safe? That's been a huge game changer for me recently because that's what's ready to be healed. That's the next iteration of some very, very ancient wounds that I'm carrying. But what part of me needs to feel safe to let go of control? What part of me needs to feel safe to show up and be okay, to be happy, truly, truly, truly happy, and truly, truly successful, and really, really live my most beautiful life? Now, I'm not saying that I haven't been living that, but there's been this programming that has just been keeping me from. It's almost like this rubber band that's just holding me back. It's like this, almost like a virus in the system or outdated programming that's just, I'm not running at optimum speed and performance. It's pretty good, but it'll be good when that little twinge shifts. So this recoding, this phase of healing, this phase of growth, this phase of transformation, this phase of transition, this isn't about tearing walls down for me. It's about really loving all of me and learning to soften and let go of the parts of me that I've been hanging on to. It feels like, I don't know if you can see, some of you will be watching on YouTube, like I'm hanging on tight. That's how I feel in life, that it's almost like I want to feel in this flowing. And you might see differently to what I feel, and I let you in on some of it. I'm letting you in on more of it now, but I'm wanting a more flowing feeling. So the softening, and this, I got somebody commented on my hair the other day saying, oh my gosh, there's a real softness about me now. And this is an experiment in growing my hair out, that there is a softening. If you feel it, if you can feel my hair, it's soft. It's so soft. It's way softer than it's been before. But this is about really softening into some more feminine energy. And our hair holds our memories. Our hair holds our emotions. And I'm really learning to soften into who I am. Really, I mean, look at me now in the flowers and boho kind of. I mean, I've kind of done that anyway. But tomorrow tomorrow I'm with my corporate clients, and I might be wearing something very, very different because it's also how I want to show up at the time that I'm showing up. So I guess just in, the freeze, this protective freeze, this isn't the absence of progress. It's the bodies, our minds, our spirits, our emotions, sacred pause before the next wave of expansion. And I can feel that. I can feel that happening for me. I don't know if you can feel that happening for you, but like the whales, that they go up the coast to have their babies, then they go back down the coast to where they hang out for the rest of the year. But they have fun along the way, and they follow their natural cycle, but they also, that next wave of their expansion, I guess. I can feel that certainly for me. And the stuff that I'm working on at the moment is really about feeling safe to move forward and allowing myself to be happy, to be successful, to be flowing, to be free, to let go of control, to release those outdated, gremlin-y patterns and beliefs and that subconscious programming, to really put the spotlight on it. That's what's ready to be updated and expanded. It's like, our phones, it's like our computers, that the software needs updating. It's like my software is getting updated, my programming is getting updated. So, and as I keep asking, what do I need to feel safe? And the answers just keep surfacing, like those beautiful whales. There's so many. Oh man, I don't even think I captured. I think I captured millionth. I don't even know what the measure is of the messages that I got this morning, but these are the ones that have come forward for this podcast episode right now. And, after years and years and years of doing inner work, I can feel this deep dive reaching just even deeper core layers. As we go down through the Earth's crust and mantle and just all the different layers, I feel like I'm getting pretty deep into those layers. That protective freeze is melting. It really is like the ice age. it's melting away. And there's movement. I can feel some excitement, and there's movement, but I'm letting go of that detachment and that expectation of what that movement should be. And I think, you know what, even though I started off saying I was frustrated that things are not moving as quickly as I want them to, I really have learned a lot over the last couple of years about that. So there's still bits that I had been frustrated about. So I do feel excited. I do feel excited around that. And if you are in your own protective freeze or fiery fight or flight, a flighty flight, if life feels that it's slow or heavy or stuck or overwhelming or too busy or whatever your version of your kind of software program that needs updating, just know that this is a natural cycle. These are cycles that we go through, that they are natural, just like the whales are doing there. They're following their cycles of where they need to go and what they need to do and how they show up in life, that we go through natural cycles too. And, we can't have the ups without the downs, the light without the shadow, that it's all part of life. It's all part of this delicious, beautiful life that we live. So this isn't about doing anything wrong or making, saying, oh, I fucked up or stuff like that. It is just what it is. And we're between tides and the energy is gathering. So as the tide goes out, it'll come in, it'll go out, the moon will do what it does, the tides respond to that, and just the whole cycle of everything in life. So the energy is gathering. That's how I feel. I feel the energy is gathering. Those whales, they'll continue breaching. I hope when I go down to the beach tomorrow that they will be there. And speaking of the cycles of life, I've just released a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful new playbook called Celebrating the Cycles of Life. And it's about helping you to navigate these seasons, these ups and downs with more ease, to move through the chapters, to go through the waves of life, the waves of change, if we're going to keep that beachy theme. It's about navigating these waves of change and the cycles of life. And this playbook has been born through all the many, many, many transitions that I've been through. And I wish I had this years ago, but it was born from what I've been through. So I've created it to help you go through your cycles of life. So the link will be in the show notes. And it really is about helping you to move from one phase of life bring it to completion. What is that outdated programming that's running in the background that needs to updating, and what do you actually want in life? What's your energy for life? So you can download that. The link is in the show notes. And if you'd like some help navigating your own version of the protective freeze, or whatever other patterns are going on in your life that might be like slowing you down, like clunky in life, reach out. That's what I do. That's what I'm here to do in this life, is to help other people to identify what it is that's holding them back, to bring that to completion so they can then move on and move into the next phase of life, with so much more ease and grace and excitement. It's about really bringing those natural cycles to completion so you can move into the next one. And I really feel that that's a part of the sort of manifesting process that's missing, that a lot of people are talking about the future and the visualizing, and then how do you move forward, but they're not looking at, well, what do we need to let go of so we're not carrying that forward into this next phase. So I really help people uncover and recode those subconscious patterns into empowering ones. And so if you'd like some assistance around that, reach out. I have, a range of private coaching and sessions that you can do with me. I've got a couple of new programs that are going to be released shortly and in the new year, and at different price points as well. So it depends on where you're at in life. But anyway, I am super excited to get back down to the beach tomorrow and see if those whales probably won't be there because they would have moved on a little bit, but I'm going to see if there's some more whales and what downloads I get tomorrow. But today was definitely juicy inspiration. Okay, gorgeous. Keep being fabulous, and I will be with you next time. See you. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Happy Go Fabulous. I hope you loved it. If you did, could I ask a big favour? Please subscribe, leave a review, and most importantly, share the love and let your besties know about the podcast. This will help get it into the hearts and ears of all the gorgeous souls who need a little bit of fabulous in their life. If you'd like some more high vibe happiness in your life, come and visit me on my Happiness Hive socials, and make sure you've signed up to my newsletter, your weekly drop of juicy goodness. Pop over to my Happiness Hive website and click on the link Working with Catherine. I'd love to help you make life amazing. Until next time, keep being fabulous.